we have Seth Westcott with us, and he wants to talk about winter stick. So what's happening with winter stick? Some people may not even know what winter stick is.
Right. Well, yeah, to start the story off there, I guess, Winter Stick is the oldest continual running snowboard company in the world. It was started by an engineer, Dmitry Milovich, in Salt Lake City in 1972, and predates Burton Snowboards by 5 years. And two other CVA alums, Tom Fremont-Smith and Chris Lorenz, purchased the company, trying to save it from some financial troubles in 1999, and I've been on board about 3 years now. I came in a few summers ago and took over all the board design and everything, and at the time we were being manufactured just outside of Telluride in Placerville, Colorado, by the Wagner Custom Ski Factory, and you know, it was a way for us to have it going for a while, and I just kind of decided it was time that we took over the whole process ourselves and start manufacturing here. And so we've retrofitted the old West Mountain Barn, the old Golf Pro Shop, and kind of started on that project at the beginning of last winter, and then got things up and running this summer. We hired Dan Leroy, who's he's our production manager, and we hired him from the Wagner factory in Colorado to come out and show us the way, and it's awesome. So we pressed our first board the third week of July, and got all the guys trained up, and now we're at it 5 days a week in there, and trying to do demos as much as we can on weekends, and but fully custom snowboards. We've got a line of kind of traditional shapes that we have, and but we also have, you know, the stuff that I'm getting in and playing around with is like these wood top sheets and making variations.
They're pretty.
They are. They're gorgeous. And part of what we're trying to do with all the wood ones is to take as much of the plastic out of the manufacturing process so that we're more environmentally friendly. And you know, wood has an amazing quality of life to it, even once it has been harvested and everything. And you know, if you take a plastic sidewall, it just droops. There's no, you know, there's no structure in it. There's no energy in it. No. Yeah, and so what I've really become a convert here, and you know, the only plastic that are in the boards that I'm riding is the base material, and everything else we're, you know, using hard rock maple sidewalls and using wood for the tip fill and the tail fill, and we're actually pressing and gluing up our cores down in Kingfield at Sebastian Tooker's construction at his cabinet shop.
Use any exotic woods? Are they all local or a combination of
well,
both?
the top sheets, you can see that one on the left is a red gum, and it's all FSC certified top sheets. So that actually comes out of South Carolina. But the local wood, I mean, we go every other week to Jordan's and hand pick our lumber out in the lumber yard, and bring it over to Seb's shop and glue up a combo of maple stringers with poplar for the rest. So we're hand making our cores in Kingfield and hand making the boards on West Mountain.
So are you the R&D department?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, and it's really fun. When I was home a couple weeks ago in between my last trip, it was the quickest turnaround we did from me sitting down at a computer with Dan and coming up with an entirely new shape in under 48 hours, from a CAD design to having a board that I went on the hill with. So it's having the ability to do that and start from scratch with a totally new design, and then go out and try it within 2 days is pretty phenomenal. So
that is
our real turnaround's about 2 weeks for getting people in the lineup and getting them in the queue, and then and getting custom stuff made for them. But
so how many hours of labor go into each one of them? About?
Well, it's
more or less, or does that depend on the design?
It depends on the design. It depends on how intricate the edge bends are, because that's all stuff that happens by hand. So the last one that I made was a kind of a tricky tail shape, so that one added about 2 extra hours of edge bending to it. So it's, you know, they cook in the press for about an hour, and then we let them cure for 24 hours before we cut them out and start the grinding and finishing process. And so there's a bunch of, you know, say there's 5 to 6 manual labor hours in each board in the process, and then as much machinery as we have to take care of the other parts, so that, you know, your hands can be doing something else. We've got a CNC machine in there that drills and profiles all the cores, and so it's, you know, you automate as much of it as you can, but it's all stuff that you got to start the process over with for each one. So
how many guys you got working over there?
Summertime we had 5 last summer. We're kind of skeleton crew right now for the winter. A couple of the guys go back to grooming and snowmaking and other things, but you know, our demand has stayed steady, and we're starting to open retailers. We just opened a shop in Chamonix this week.
That is wicked exciting.
It's great. We've got our first official embassy was Powder Mountain out in Utah, which was one of the first places in North America to allow snowboarding, and it was one of the places where
How
the guys
appropriate.
that they didn't even call themselves snowboarders, they called themselves winter stickers because
That's what
they
it was.
were the first one. They were winter sticking.
Wow.
And so we've had an amazing following out there, and I actually went out and spent a day. We took the whole U.S. team in early January and had a phenomenal powder day and got everyone on the boards and rode with all these old school winter stickers out there in Utah. And so it's neat. It's growing, and it's, you know, we're a small batch place, so we can, if we're really cranking it out, we can do 3 or 4 a day,
Right.
and that's it. So it's, you know, next summer, as demand grows around the world, we might have to start doing 2 shifts and see what we can do in a summertime.
the eye
with
on
that.
the prize,
So, exactly. But we just plug away and make one beautiful snowboard at a time, and take it from there and try.
It must
to
be
make
really
people
fun
happy.
for you.
It's
Is
awesome. It is.
Yeah.
It really is. We had the annual Mount Baker Bank Slalom last weekend out in Washington State, and it was the 31st annual. It's the, you know, what we model our bank slalom off of here. But I custom made myself 2 boards, and one of my old U.S. team members, Rob Kingwell, is riding on the boards as well, and I brought him one out as well, and he won the Pro Masters on his on the first day he'd ever been on it, and
No
I was
way.
4th in the Open Pro class on mine.
Well,
so it was
I guess
pretty
you're
cool
doing something
to,
okay, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty cool to like turn ones around in 2 weeks and come away with a couple podiums.
That's
and,
really cool.
And you know, really kind of just feel like I'm validating what we're doing with this whole the whole process.
You're not just fluffing.
No, exactly.
That's
they
awesome.
really work, so it's
Wow.
it's fun.